darkness, it was necessary to bring us to light. Captives we awaited a Savior. Prisoners help. Slaves a liberator. Are these things minor or insignificant? Did they not move God to descend to human nature and visit it, since humanity was in so miserable and unhappy a state? St. Gregory in this thing. When we talk about the living tradition of the church, there you go. St. Gregory in this. If you were to pin me down, I'm thinking probably mid-700s to 900s. I might be completely off. Okay? But my point is, here we have fathers of the faith. We have doctors of the church. We have people that we're never going to ever read about, but we're going to meet in heaven someday, who were giants of our faith. We have St. Therese the Little Flower, who lived in France, who was declared a doctor of the church, and she never left her country. She never wrote anything except for the story of the soul. She did small things with great love. So, the Word became flesh in order to save us by reconciling us with God. Number 2, the Word became flesh so that we might know God's love. Here you go, y'all are familiar with this. For God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, that whoever believes in Him should not perish but have eternal life, so that we might know God's love. Number 3, to become our model for holiness. It's kind of the example I was sharing with you earlier from Guardian of Speds. In Christ fully reveals man to himself. Jesus is the model for the Beatitudes and the norm of the new law. Love one another as I have loved you. This love implies an effective offering of oneself after His example. And then number 4, let me back up there. To be our model of holiness, ultimately, how did Christ show us how to be holy? Is to die to self, to crucify ourselves, to crucify our desires, to lay down our life for the other. And then right here, this is the one, if you pay attention to Mass today, this is the one you're going to catch. The Word became flesh to make us partakers of the divine nature. That should kind of rock your world. The Word became flesh so that we could share in the divine nature. For this is why the Word became man and the Son of God became the Son of Man, so that man, by entering into communion with the Word and thus receiving divine sonship, might become a son of God. For the Son of God became man so that we might become God. That's interesting. The only begotten Son of God, wanting to make us sharers in His divinity, assumed our nature so that He made man might make men gods. This is not an understanding as like another faith could say you become God. Now, it really is, you are sharing in God's very nature. You become partakers of the divine nature. I believe at Mass today during the communion, closing communion prayer, said communion with the divine nature. That's what it's getting at. So we talked about the Word becoming flesh. We talked about the history. Christ is in a place and time. We talked about you have a choice. You have either Jesus is Lord, lunatic, or liar. And we talked about the why. And we talked about everything that we do, from the most profound doctrines of the church to the smallest thing, as if the vestments of the church that the priests wear, to medals that we wear, things that all should ultimately point us to Christ. There's a lot there. So there's a lot to ponder. What I did was I had Kathy print off a few things for today. And especially step 8, page 8, the summary and exhortation. You kind of see here a lot of what I was sharing. So CCC stands for, want to take a guess? Catechism of the Catholic Church. Excellent. So when you see those references, and you go into the Catechism of the Catholic Church, and then at the bottom it has a footnote saying Matthew 2. You'll see that integration between the Scriptures and the Catechism. I would actually challenge you all on something. Back many moons ago, I studied religious education. I studied catechism. I studied teaching the faith. In my senior year, for one of my classes, this is what our professor said. She said, your final exam is going to be a 100-question, multiple choice test on the catechism. That's all you need to know. Everything else we talk about for the rest of the semester is going to have nothing to do with that conversation. What she was getting at, she had other things that she was going to go over with us, but here's what her homework was for us. She said, I want you to read the catechism slowly but surely and to get the language of the church. She said, if you read it, you will pass the exam. If you don't read it, you won't, because you won't understand the language of the church. That was our assignment. And it's something I challenge you all to do. Is some people want to treat the catechism as just a reference book. They want to treat it as a proof text. They want to treat it as the old school encyclopedia. Now, the catechism, start at the beginning and commit to maybe 10 paragraphs a day. 2 paragraphs a day. Whatever you can do. And just get the language of the church. Because you're going to see how integrated that is with the Scriptures. And before you know it, you're going to be meeting all these really neat people. These saints, these gospel writers, Old Testament writers, popes from yesteryear. And they're all going to be pointing to something. They're all going to be pointing to the person of Christ. I want to just see if you all have some questions about what I've shared. I do have some table questions that we could discuss, but I just want to see if you all, just anything that struck you, anything you want to share, anything maybe that was profound that you hadn't thought about before, you would like to share. I would appreciate it.